Welcome to the Smiling Sufferer podcast. On the mic is your boy, Corey. It's been a long time. It's been, a couple weeks now? Right next to me, I have Mr. G, the one and only.
The Black James Bond.
The Black James Bond. Yeah. And in front of me, I have... We got a nickname, people. We got a nickname. I have Danny. No, she goes by Danny, but
go ahead. Tell me what nickname would you like? What are you trying to choose between?
I'm trying to decide between Green Lantern, and Green Goblin.
Or we could say
now I looked up Green Goblin.
Well, he's a villain.
And he looks like shit. So I was like, maybe Green Goblin is not the best.
Green Goblin is from Spider-Man.
What about Poison Ivy?
Poison Ivy was great.
No, you don't get to pick. No, you don't get. No, she doesn't get to pick her own nickname.
I thought about it. Like,
that's not how it works.
You gotta give them the story of
Danny, that's not how it works.
Why she's getting this green tag.
The reason why she's getting this tag. Shit, we forgot to get wipes, you people.
I know. I'm not trying to touch this mic.
I'm not getting that close.
Yeah.
The reason why
I know he touched it. That's how
I know I didn't. Do you have hand sanitizer?
I have very little.
With this
don't you have your
going around?
Hold on, Corey. Don't you have hand sanitizer in your fanny pack?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, let me get a little too. Corey has some. I'll get some.
No. I'm out. See, I'm out.
So
a little bit.
In your fanny pack, that's fine.
Did it come out?
Yeah.
Do you have like any cloth?
I don't have
that
anything.
I can use to wipe this down.
I didn't bring my big purse.
Dude, I'm going to use my hand to just...
Look, we're freaking out about coronavirus, man. I don't know what's going on with that thing.
You need some more?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Is that enough?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, yeah, because they're marking up the prices of everything, right?
Yes. In Nigeria, I think they marked it up by like 1,000% or something in some places.
Business, man.
Well, when you order online, like when I used to look at it on Staples.
Supply and demand.
Well, no, but even just one of those Purell bottles sometimes is like $25 anyways.
Yeah, so $25? Oh, you talking about the big jars?
No, like the little ones on Staples. They're always expensive. Like the ones like, I don't know, 8 ounces, 6 ounces. Yeah.
No, that doesn't sound realistic.
They were. That's why I always look at it like, why? I wonder why they do that.
These small ones, if you get it at like a gas station, it's like $5 actually.
Just go to Bath and Body Works.
It's not cheap, the small one. So.
Just go Bath. They haven't upped their charges yet at Bath and Body Works for their hand sanitizer.
It's fucked up though that people do that.
So Green Lantern.
Yes, Green Lantern. I think that's what I'm gonna settle with. So okay, the reason for this nickname is I got to work, man, the other day. And of course, for those that don't know, Danny and I happen to also work in the same place. And basically, I got there and she was wearing this green jumpsuit.
It was not a jumpsuit.
It was a jumpsuit. It was green. It was like glowing green, right?
Like glow in the dark.
And then I noticed
it was hunter green.
Hunter green.
Hunter green. It's like a deep green.
Oh, you can call her Robin Hood.
No,
because he was green also. Robin Hood.
No,
so does Robin.
So there's Robin.
Just regular Robin.
Yeah, from
Hunter
Batman
green. That's what Hunter green looks like, apparently.
So Hunter green looks like green.
See?
It just looks like green. Dark green.
So it's Hunter
like
green.
A dark green.
It's like a dark
Hunter.
green.
It was glowing, people. It was glowing. But it didn't stop there. I noticed she had red hair, which you can see if you check out our YouTube videos. You'll see the red hair I'm talking about. She had cut it short. It was even shorter. It was shorter than this.
When did you see her?
It has grown.
Didn't you just say you saw her on Friday?
No, it wasn't Friday. It was
Friday.
It was Monday.
That I had the green on? Yes. Oh, you're talking about my hair?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you didn't see my hair until Monday.
Yeah.
So in a week, it's grown.
Yes, it's grown. It's grown. But then
drop your routine, man.
But then she had
a lot of people don't want that.
Then she had on these green Under Armour sneakers, right? And they were glowing too.
Man, we need Under Armour. They need to
so imagine someone with red hair, short, with a green jumpsuit. Okay. I mean that's superhero uniform now. Jumpsuits. That's what they do, right?
Yeah. All right.
So I'm like, all right.
So Green Lantern it is.
You gotta get something for this thing.
Green Lantern it is.
So Green Lantern.
All right.
You know what?
I don't agree with Green Lantern. I'd have to find something better.
She said she wanted what? What'd you say? Poison Ivy.
Oh, Poison Ivy. At least she's a woman. Green Lantern is.
We don't see gender.
Yeah, no, we don't see gender.
I do.
Gender is fluid.
It's fluid here.
I'm not fluid.
No, the reason I would have given you Poison Ivy, but you picked it, and no, you're not supposed to like your nickname. It's supposed to irritate you.
I don't even necessarily like Poison Ivy. I just thought about it made sense. She does have red hair she wears green.
I'm trying to look her up, but nothing's coming up. Should I type in Poison Ivy superhero?
It could be a Ninja Turtle.
You don't know what she looks like from Batman?
You know what? Poison Ivy does make sense.
She has red hair too.
Yeah, she does.
That's what I'm saying.
She does. All right. Enough. Joking around. Let's get right to it, man. Mm-hmm. Afrobeat. Wale.
What it do?
Your boy.
Who?
Burna.
Oh, what happened to him?
He was at the BRIT Awards.
Of course, he killed it too.
His
performance.
Great performance.
Ain't nobody paved the way for him, bro.
Great performance. We got to give it to him.
Shout out to my man Skepta, Stormzy, for putting him on, because Stormzy didn't have to do it, but he did it.
Yeah.
Because it was Stormzy's set, and he let him come on to perform on it, and he let him have about a minute and a half to perform anybody.
Yeah.
It was a good. He did a very good job. I always like to see. We've only seen Wiz and David do like the main headline shows by themselves, but even then, I still think like the production is still a little lacking. Mm-hmm. You have like Wiz came out from like, he had like the floating stage idea kind of thing. Yeah. The video to have the floating stage idea kind of thing. The production is still not like the best. They have ideas. It's just not them standing on stage. But seeing Burna in that professional, like actually someone took time to plan out a performance, coordinated performance. The dancers were everything, visual effects, everything. To see him do well on that, it makes me wonder why they don't invest in such for their own shows. Because their own shows are usually just just boy.
Oh, we got some ways to go.
Yeah, but they're getting better. They're getting better. They're adding stuff to it.
Does anyone have a pen? Sorry.
What are you trying to write?
I need to get that number. I forgot.
But yeah, so it was good. He did a good job.
I also want to talk about Olamide. He recently sealed a record deal with Empire. Well, do you have the details of that?
No, I don't. But wasn't I just telling you? Did I say it on the podcast when I was like his last album?
I know you called it.
I said it. I listened to that album. I said, "Damn, this man's ready to go."
And actually, I listened to it yesterday. Your words were. I asked, "You think he's packaging himself?"
Yes, and that's what I said.
And I remember, and Danny asked, was like, "Wait, what do you mean by packaging himself?"
Yeah, and I said it. And then how many days later, he signs a deal with Empire? Was it Empire?
He sure did. Empire.
Yeah, Empire.
So what do you think he can do with that deal? It sounds like it's like more of a partnership, right?
Probably. I don't really know about these partnerships they claim to always have. I think it's more of a distribution deal. I think most of them have. I think the only people that are signed properly are Wiz, David, Burna.
I have a question because I don't know if I missed this. So, what type of deal did he sign?
It's a It doesn't say, but I think it's.
So over here it says it's a distribution, Empire distribution.
Yeah, I didn't even know
with
that,
American Music Company. So I'll read out the.
It's so funny. I didn't even know that. I just figured that's what it's gonna be.
In the late hours of February 18, 2020, legendary Nigerian rapper Olamide EMPIRE announced that his label YBNL Nation had signed a deal with Empire Distribution. Yeah. So basically, happy to announce that YBNL and Empire got a joint venture deal. Myself and Fireboy with any other act I sign next, ready to shake the world. So it sounds like he's gonna still have his label, and he's probably gonna sign artists, and most likely he's gonna get dollar support, right?
So
what do you think?
The way, from my understanding, and like I said, I might be wrong. I mean, we're going to talk to somebody who would know much more. But with the distribution, I think they just help you distribute it. They place you, where you need to be. What's that?
The number.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They place you where you need to be. They are you gonna call the guy on WhatsApp or regular call?
Regular call.
So they place you where you need to be. They get you, your music where it has to be. They stream it right for you and stuff like that. With the actual signing, they're more invested in you because they give you the money. They're more invested. You have the Burna Boy. That's why a Burna Boy would get put on Apple Music next rated, and with that you get to go on Jimmy Fallon, I think.
Yeah.
And then he gets to go on Jimmy Kimmel, because they put in money with you. They give you your advance, a whiz. But one thing we've seen, is they got it right with Burna. I think it's Universal, or I forget who signed Burna, but they got it right with Burna. They've missed it with Wiz and Davido. With Wiz and Davido, I think those guys, just because of how powerful and how popular they are, they kind of just did it themselves.
Okay.
Because they had, like, Davido was the first Wiz was the first. So Wiz's first album was Sounds from the Other Side. And the album, I like it. I like it a lot. It's a very, that was the album that had Joe Budden, give him a shout out saying, hey, why don't we talk about it on, like, Everyday Struggle and stuff like that. Because he said he listened to the album randomly, and he wondered why, they give a lot of shout outs to people, but they don't give someone like Wiz shout outs because he can hear his sound in new artists. It's like, man, they're jacking his sound. So, like, it was good. Nigerians didn't like it. They thought it was very too watered down. Davido had 1, 2, and he didn't even like it. It was like a 5 or 6 track EP, and he hated it. They have more control. They can kind of tell you what they want to hear.
Okay.
And I don't think they have the ear yet for Afrobeat, so they want to hear the watered down version. They have more control over you. A distribution, on the other hand, you're giving them the content.
Okay.
Here it is. Put it out there for me. So I believe, and like I said, I might be wrong, but I believe distribution works better for someone like an Olamide rather than them actually signing him in on as an artist and being having a hand in his music, because Olamide can't give you more than what he's giving you right now. So, you can't change it. You can't get more than that from him.
So you're getting more money.
Maybe
Hopefully.
it would come into more money, more royalties. You get royalties now if your music is being played in the States.
Right, because I remember before you mentioned that a lot of the artists overseas, they don't get royalties because they don't have a structure set up like that. So at least he's being proactive, I guess, if that's the sense.
So, wait, can you guys hear me?
I can.
Okay, so I actually have someone on the line here. His name is Papa Omisore. He's worked in the industry. I believe he's like a brand manager. He's a specialized PR agent. He does artist promotions and publicity, and event planning, video styling, and consulting. So basically, he's consulted with a lot of Afrobeat artists.
Okay.
And I have him here on the call. Papa, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Hey, man, how you doing, bro?
Nice to have you on.
You just ignored me.
What?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, he can hear you now.
Okay.
Papa, can you hear Wale?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
I kind of. I hear you more.
Hold on. Maybe
Yeah.
I need to put it on speaker.
Oh.
Can you hear him?
I can hear him.
Okay. All right. Much better.
Yo, how you doing, man? Can you hear me? Nah, he can't.
No, I don't think you can hear.
It's okay.
You have too much bass.
So I gotta sound like
He said
like
too much
a
bass.
little bitch. All right, don't worry. Just go on.
So Papa, we were just talking about the recent deal that Olamide signed, and we're trying to figure out, what kind of deal was it? Is this something that you would consider a model for like what other Afrobeat artists can do if they're seeking international deals?
Dude, no, we can't hear him from this. Take him off speaker. Yeah, hello.
He signed.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you didn't know he signed with Empire?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. But how about? But what do you think about deals in general with Afrobeat artists? The kind of deals that are out there with Wizkid, Tiwa Savage, and Davido. I know they also have distribution deals, right, Wale?
I guess it comes with it.
Yeah, I guess it comes with. So what do you think about those?
I mean, it depends. If it's distribution, I don't see anything wrong with that because that's just you, trying to pretty much create a wider audience for your music or your sound or your brand. So I don't see anything wrong with I don't see anything wrong with them signing distribution deals. My thing is, artists in Nigeria, having done so much for themselves and thinking that the next step is to sign with a Western label, be it record labels or any of this management, I think it kind of takes away from their creativity because, they're trying to service more than one audience.
Okay.
Whether or not we like what we like as Nigerians and Africans. I feel like not that many Western people understand Afrobeat in as much as we would like to think that it's cut across.
Yeah.
So when artists sign with these labels, they tend to dilute their sounds because they're trying to service a different audience, which I think is absolutely. I think it's wrong because if you look at artists who are Africans and are known worldwide, their sounds have always been the same. Sort of like Angelina Kidjo, she has never had to, change her sound or even her dialect. Like she still sings in her native dialect of French.
I think you also had an opinion about her winning the Grammy. You didn't think Burna Boy deserved it.
I don't think he's undeserving.
Okay.
But I think that a lot of people don't know who Angelina Kidjo is. A lot of people are not aware of her brand, which is why Burna Boy's clout is a thing of now, and people thought that was enough to have earned him a Grammy. It's possible, but I feel like we still don't do the groundwork as Nigerians because we lack structure. Now, Angelina Kidjo's husband is like one of the number one music composer and producer ever. Her management company is like top notch. This woman's branding, this woman's like catalog is heavy. And then also her reach is wider. She's been doing this longer than Burna Boy. She has cut across way longer than him, so her audience is wider.
Sorry, I was going to just cut you off really quickly. I just looked up the husband, Kidjo's husband, French musician Jean Hebrel. Heard her humming once in a lifetime, as she often had, and suggested she finally listen to Remaining Light. He looks like a younger guy. Interesting. Okay. All right. Yeah, sorry about that. Go on.
Yeah. So just like, I don't think Burna Boy could have won that. I don't think he stood a chance. We were just kind of carried away with the whole frenzy of his, him releasing his music and just
album.
Maybe listening to it in America.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, just maybe listening to it in America. But I don't
still
think
can't hear me, man.
Like Burna Boy had to apply to be nominated. You guys know that, right?
Yes, he did.
Hold
on. So Wale had a question really quickly.
Yo, can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, but see, we can't hear him on the stuff.
Yeah, don't worry.
All right, but yeah, my question was, yes, Burna, Burna had this, we were chasing that clout. We were happy to see him nominated, but isn't it good for the industry that he did get nominated? It's something we haven't seen with the mainstream popular. We see the likes of the Kutis get that nomination, but this is the first time in a long time, at least, that I can remember that we've had someone who is all mainstream and actually, had a small chance to win. So isn't that worth celebrating on its own?
Remarkable. That's very, very remarkable. But could he have won? I don't think he could have won. But does he deserve to win? Yeah, possible. But I don't think he could have won. I don't think he stood a chance just yet. But him having been nominated is a plus. Him being nominated is a big deal because it takes a lot. Burna Boy has the music. Burna Boy has the branding to last. So it's very possible that in the next years to come he probably would win. But as of this last Grammy, I didn't think he stood a chance.
Okay, yeah, so what I was saying before you actually got on the call is similar to what you're actually saying right now about back to the deals, where I was saying that, I was agreeing that with Olamide, it makes sense to get a distribution deal because the likes of Wiz and Davido who've gotten, an actual contract, their music hasn't been, we have sounds from the other side from Wiz, which I kind of liked, but, Nigerians didn't really fuck with it because it was different. And what's that Davido's EP that didn't do too well? I forget what it was called.
The Son of Mercy.
Son of Mercy. That was also another example of how they've handled us badly as artists. And I think Burna does have a full deal. I don't know how his management is done, but his album seemed a little more original, but maybe just because that's his sound and he can cross across without having to change. But like on Olamide, it does make sense that it's just a distribution, because if you start to tinker with Olamide's music, it's going to be trash.
Yeah. First of all, Olamide is an indigenous artist, so he raps or sings in a particular dialect. Even in certain parts of Nigeria, Olamide might struggle. Like
you think
Olamide, so? Yes, even in Nigeria, I feel like we Olamide will struggle in the north, even in Nigeria, as an artist. And this is Olamide. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's the same way. It's the same way. If Fino would struggle if he went deep west. It's the same thing. I don't think Fino can do a show in Ilorin. You know what I mean? Or in APT. It's just what it is. And then you're coming to America. Like what is the demand for Olamide in America? Like who's hungry for Olamide in America? Olamide has a chance of dominating Africa as opposed to coming to America. Now, the only reason why I see artists coming to sign with America, regardless of the sort of contract, is just because of the structure that they have and how they can, sort of monetize their work, and just there's a trail essentially. We lack that structure in Nigeria. Do you understand? There's no system that works. So artists are putting out creativity, they're putting out their work and all their efforts, and they don't really see the it's not coming back as it should.
Okay.
Financially. How many artists are making a ton of money off royalty? Like off Wizkid's catalog just alone. If Wizkid didn't do anything, with how big Wizkid is as a Nigerian artist, if he were to be an American artist, he may not have to do anything again. Do you understand?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
So why do you think Olamide signed a distribution deal?
Pardon?
Why do you think Olamide signed a distribution deal, though? What do you think it's beneficial to?
I couldn't answer that because I don't know why. I feel like they just feel like it's the right thing to do because everyone's doing it. But I can't sit down here and tell you why. In anywhere outside of Nigeria, that Olamide stood a chance.
Yeah, because have you listened to his last album? His latest album?
No, I've heard a few songs.
I'm not really crazy about it. It sounds
me neither.
Watered down. It sounds a little packaged. It doesn't sound like Olamide.
But guys, that was actually where I was heading. You see how like the sound has changed because everyone's trying to do this whole sort of sound where it's inspired by Naira Marley, Zlatan. Like everyone is on that wave now, and that's the thing about Nigerian music. Everyone's always trying to follow what's in. No one's trying to set a trend. The only artist I feel like has come out and still sort of like in his lane is Rema and also Niniola.
Yeah.
Those are the two artists that have come out and kind of like have stayed true. Maybe Simi, that have kind of stayed true to their.
I mean, Rema does have some Wizkid vibes, though.
Pardon?
Rema has some vibes.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's how Rema came out. The way Rema came out is still the same way he's been. He's on this type of new school alternative vibe or tear kind of vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like out of any artist in Nigeria right now, I think Rema has the number one chance to actually cut across to the west.
Yeah, I remember we talked about it here not too long ago. I think Rema was one of those artists that we thought could really break out because he's talented. He's very talented. But I was just wondering if you could just give us a quick your quick synopsis of your background and artists that you worked with, just to get an idea of the role you've played within the industry.
So in 2000 and I think 2014, just when Don Jazzy left Mo Hits Record, he started Maven Records, and I helped him with the branding, helped pretty much everything. A&R, trying to get his music out there.
Interesting.
When he signed Tiwa Savage and all of that. Also, when he signed Ricardo, I actually found Ricardo because I did the PR sets for that. It was called PRIT to Maven, and PRIT is my company. Okay. So I found Ricardo, like specifically.
So wait, so what happened? How come they split?
Who?
Ricardo and Maven, yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's also an artist bug. They feel like they get to a level and
they're too big.
They just want this independent, which is not bad. But I feel like someone like Ricardo has talent, but Ricardo has no branding. Ricardo doesn't have any image. I'm not going to see Ricardo now and as a woman lost over Ricardo. Ricardo doesn't have that package. And artists forget that music is not enough. You need to have branding. So if you don't have certain things like the image, you don't have the lifestyle, you don't have the money.
So there was this, you talking about that, there was this thing that this guy, this Instagram guy, or your Mike, he was saying about Fireboy, that he doesn't like the fact that, you know, he feels like Fireboy needs more visual representation. Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that. And there's so many artists who their music is bigger than them. I can name a few artists that I think that their music is bigger than them. But anyways, so I started Maven Records. I helped Don Jazzy with finding Ricardo bands and all of that, Corey De Bello, and just kind of helping them brand, themselves as artists. Because my thing has always been image. I've always been very particular.
I remember that was around the time they released Dorobuchi, right? Where they came out with the song. And they were just releasing hit after hit after hit.
Yeah,
I remember.
And again, I would say
it was like the second wave of Don Jazzy.
They also too kind of fell off when they I don't know, it's just I don't know, Nigerians, we never want to like be unique. Everyone is always trying to follow what's in. When something is in, everyone wants to jump on it. No one wants to stay in their lane and be a master of it or be master at it. And that's why a lot of artists always struggle. But Don Jazzy is very talented. He's a super duper producer. He's a legend. And I feel like he has an eye for talent. Like he can spot talent from a mile away, and that's helped him even with Rema. So to answer your question, why Ricardo left, I think Ricardo had gone to a point where he thought his brand was big enough, and maybe he just probably wanted 100% to himself. But it never works like that. It never ever works like that.
Okay. So after Don Jazzy,
he pardon?
No, I was gonna ask after Don Jazzy, like what was your next project?
After Don Jazzy, I pretty much kind of, I would say started working independently in the sense that for 4 years I was tied to Maven. I was doing everything Maven Records.
Okay.
And after that, I just started helping upcoming artists. And even at that was when like the likes of Mayor Kun, Kiss Daniel, I helped their record label just do one or two things with their brand. Even if it's just consultation, like okay, how can we do this? Who can help us with that? How can we meet this person? Just things like that. Leverage off my influence or my network, essentially. So that's what I was doing, because when you tie yourself to an artist or to a label, it's sometimes draining in the sense that you don't have time for anything else. And at the time, Maven Record had more than 6 artists.
Yeah.
It's impossible for you to. I feel like for every artist has to be unique. If you're managing more than 1 or 2, 3 people, it would affect the other. One must suffer. and that started to happen. Everyone started to kind of, okay, let me do it like this person. Since Tiwa is doing it like this, let me do it like Tiwa. You know, Dr. Sid is trying to find himself. The Prince is trying to find himself. You know, Wandiko had just left, so there was just so much. You know, I thought it was the perfect time for me to also, you know, try to do my own thing. So that's pretty much it.
Okay.
In a nutshell. And I mean, with all of that, I got to work with everyone. Like David, I literally helped David and Issa from jump. Like I did all David's image consulting. I styled literally all his
and by
videos
David, for those who don't know, you mean Davido, right?
Pardon?
For those who don't know, you mean Davido when you say David, right?
I made him who he is. Is that what you said?
I mean, you mean the name Davido, because you said David, and I was like, for those who don't know, you mean Davido. You know?
Oh, sorry. I meant to say Davido. Sorry. I meant to say Davido. Yeah, we worked together from inception to and I'm very proud of him. But yeah, being in the industry for me, I don't know. I don't know if you guys already get a sense of it, but I just got tired.
Really?
Yeah, I just got tired. There was no direction. There was no direction. Everybody just wants to do what the next person is doing. Nobody's unique to themselves. No one is true to themselves. You know, like just look at Wizkid now. Like I don't know what the fuck Wizkid is doing with himself. You know, like what is he doing? I don't think Wizkid has.
Do you think he's having like a lack of creativity? Is that what it is?
I think it's
I think every artist goes through that. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you go through that phase, I think it's the best thing is to admit and try to look for inspiration, and it could be in the form of you just collaborating with somebody. So Wizkid doesn't necessarily have to release a monster hit, but he can feature with somebody out of his comfort zone that is not a Tiwa Savage or a Shady or a Sad.
No, but I think he's done that to an extent though. Even like with the Beyonce record, you know, I feel like he's collabed.
I don't think he had a choice in that.
He's done a lot of things, so, but you just don't think he's doing enough.
How has that helped him? How has that, like, in the last 3 years, has Wizkid released any monster hits?
Joro was kind of a hit, wasn't it?
Joro was a monster hit. Joro was a hit.
I mean, it wasn't Ojo Elegba, but I mean, it banged in the clubs. I mean,
nothing has.
It did what it was supposed to do.
You can. I stand to be corrected. Has anything, like, with? How many people are listening to Joro now?
I mean,
Joro couldn't last more than 3 months.
Yeah, I agree with that. Joro was he did what he was supposed to do. It just kept Wizkid's name a little relevant in people's mouths.
Afloat.
It was, yeah.
If Tiwa Savage was in that video, no one's going to listen to that.
Yeah, I understand. But I mean, the same can be said for everybody. Same could be said for maybe Burna. Burna needs to drop something. Everything he's dropped after his album has been okay. It hasn't been anything that would last. But the same thing could be said for him. The same thing could definitely be said for Davido. And maybe they have to just change the strategy. I think Wiz is worried about this album.
Sure, but that's another thing that a Nigerian artist suffer from, their lack of structure. If an artist releases an album, why are you still releasing other things after the album?
Yes,
you need to promote the album.
Yep.
When you give people more than 5, 6, 7 songs to consume, you need to actually push those songs because it's very, very hard to digest.
Yep.
So I might just listen to one song and like that one song and run with it. I don't want to listen to anything else. So you have to. It's your job to literally force it down our throats. So if you have released the whole body of work, why are you still releasing singles on the side? That's a lack of structure.
Yeah, Burna's dropped 3 singles so far, and I think the latest one has been the best out of the 3. You know, the first one was the one with Latin. I didn't think they needed that song. Money Play, I don't know why he dropped it. And
but I like the
Odogu
track.
is the best out of the 3, definitely. you know. But yeah, to just drop an album, it hasn't been a year, and then you've dropped 3 singles, you know, it's a lot. The video hasn't dropped after the album. The video hasn't dropped a single, which is good.
Because it's pushing the album.
It's pushing the album. You know,
he's pushing 1 million now.
He's pushing 1 million. He's pushing the album, and he's taking it, you know, step by step. You know, he's pushing one song at a time. I mean, I have my take on the album. I don't think it's the best album, so I'm not really sure. I mean, he's doing his job, but I don't really think this time next year we'll be singing songs off that album. If I'm being honest,
I think that album is actually one of the few albums. I'm not that I'm a super fan of Davido. I actually like his person more than I like his music. But I will say that the body of work is actually remarkable.
It is.
The sound, Davido, the production of that album was 100%.
Okay, so
the production of that album was done very well. I also feel like Davido gave a lot of himself, because he could. I mean, a lot of people do albums now and they feature literally 3-4 people on one track, and till the end of the album. So I felt like it was a good balance of him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he could have done better?
Diverse.
Do you think he could have done better?
I don't think he could have done better. I think he did good enough. I feel like the problem is, again, there's too much to consume. There's just too much music to consume right now. And when you're familiar with the sound, you're comparing it to what you're listening to out there. And
that's what it is.
You know what I mean?
And Burna just dropped also.
You can't listen to an album in a month and fall in love with it. Like, those days are gone. Like, people don't have time anymore. When you listen to when somebody drops an album, first of all, I'm even against album. I don't. At this point, the way music has changed,
EPs.
And the way
in Nigeria, I don't think they need albums. Yeah.
In general,
okay.
In general, I don't think artists should bother with albums, because there's just too much music and there's just too many ways that people can actually consume music. It's not even
we have a short attention span too.
Yes, there's just too much. There's just too much to consume.
There's a case to be made about that. I remember
nothing like album sales no more.
You remember when Kanye West released that 7-track album? Yeah. I thought that was going to be the model going forward, because it made sense to me. It was short,
7 tracks,
sweet, to the point, and I digested it very well. But people seem to still be putting out albums with multiple tracks, and I don't get it. There's only so much I can listen to.
I think they have so much music, they just need to put it all out there at once.
Probably.
And that's the only way they can do it, rather than drop it one by one.
So I was going to ask, so Papa, I know Papa has a...
Can you hear me?
Wait, Papa, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I know you have a strong opinion about the fact that the music right now doesn't really contain a message. Can you talk a little bit about that? What kind of message do you think we need to be pushing at this point?
I mean, I don't necessarily think that there has to be a message.
Okay.
I just feel like, in particular, I just feel like the music just has to have more substance.
Okay.
In the sense that everything, like the people that are considered winning right now in Nigeria, their music is good, or people are actually talking about them, is Naira Marley or Zlatan, you know.
It is touts.
I'm like, what I can't understand what music has come to, that those are the, you know, the forerunners of music right now in Nigeria.
It's like ratchet music.
Yeah, but they're going to come and go.
It's ratchet music.
They're going to come and go.
Like,
I mean,
how many, like,
Naira is already fading off.
I guess it goes to the whole suffering and smiling again. Everybody just wants to opt out of their current problem or situation. And
did you say suffering and smiling?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Thanks for the plug. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
I think that's really what it is. Everyone's trying to, you know, come out of their reality and enjoy. But because that's what we're doing right now, sounds don't last longer than 2 months. You know, because there's just nothing. There's no substance. I can't even put into words. I don't even think I can articulate myself.
I mean, Naira and Zlatan, I don't think they're gonna last though. I mean, I feel like they're already fitting off. So.
Who are they? First of all,
look, it's
you're not a Malian.
We have this is this short attention span music. I mean, it's and then you see the good thing about a Naira Marley is like this whole Malian he just said. You know, it's like is this fake persona that you as a learned education 9 to 5 person can claim to be, you belong to that category of people. Trend. It's a trend. So even you're excited to, shout 0 bells, 1,000 trousers when, bro, you're going to put on a suit to go to work, and it's quick music. It's quick. I don't think it's going to last. I don't think in 2 years we're going to be talking about these two people. I just saw, I thought Zlatan would go longer than Naira. I think he still might, but even just saw a video of him with this whole trend on Twitter of like Omisore trending on Twitter, and he has a new song with him, and it's the same thing. It's just songs with sound and ad-libs. And eventually it's going to be like, bro, we're tired of this thing. We thank you, next. I give an example of Small Doctor coming in, or Mr. Real, and all those kind of people, they don't last. They don't last. It's a trend. They don't last.
Slim Case.
Slim Case, yeah. Slim Case is...
Where's Slim Case now?
He has fans. They have fans. But where's Mr. Real Slim Case? Every year, Small Doctor does a show on the mainland, but he's not... Nobody's checking for him outside of his community where he has his fan base.
I don't know. I think Naira is special. I think there's something unique about that.
Go on.
But go on.
The artist that I respect his genius is Kiss Daniel. And I think he's so underrated. People actually don't know how talented that guy is.
But Kiss Daniel doesn't have the right packaging. That's his problem.
Yes, he lacks the
branding.
it.
He lacks the branding. He's not a superstar.
His songs have always been bigger than him.
Yeah.
His music has always been bigger than him, and that's because he's never had the right management. In Nigeria, we don't know that talent is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
We don't understand that. We feel like if you release music, it's so funny. In as much as we laugh about Naira Marley, but Naira Marley's branding is this whole nonchalant, I don't give a fuck, just like zero expectation from me, fuck the system. That's actually branding.
Yeah, it
is.
That's his movement. Do you understand what I'm saying? But someone like a Kiss Daniel who's forming fresh, forming sex symbol. You want girls to lust over you, Mr. Lover. There has to be something that you're selling that's more than your music.
Yeah.
So if I see you on street as a woman, I want to literally strip you naked. Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no editorial. There's no collaboration with magazine. There's no fashion.
Yeah,
there's nothing that's selling other than your music.
Yeah.
Now let me give another example of Davido. When Davido didn't release.
Hello.
When Davido didn't release music for a whole year, that whole phase when he was in America, Davido was still the highest followed Nigerian
artist.
In fact, artist in Africa, African artist.
Yeah, because Instagram
he was selling a lifestyle.
Yeah,
he was
Instagram.
selling a lifestyle.
That's weird.
And that lifestyle is some sort of aspiration for people. Because when I look at that as a Nigerian
who's suffering, you want it.
I want to be here, man.
You have people say they want to be part of 30BG, they want to join, having everybody have a
because
Rolex.
It's aspirational. Everybody that has affiliated with Davido in one way or another, in any capacity, somehow kind of looks good tomorrow. They're now wearing bling bling. They're now wearing Rolex.
You're going on the private jets. You might not know what's going on really behind the scenes, but
and that's life.
That's life. Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah. This Wiz has started to do that too. He started to be more active on social media.
I feel like he should have done that a long time. And that's something that has helped someone like a Tiwa Savage. When Tiwa Savage doesn't have the music, she has the branding.
Presence.
Everybody wants to fuck Tiwa Savage.
And she did it well with that Wizkid thing where she rode on that well.
Artists need to do that. You don't need to shy away from press. Let them talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It adds to you what I don't always have to be talking about your music or listening to your music. I want to talk about who you're fucking. I want to talk about what you're wearing. I want to talk about where you are. It's that's why you're an artist and I'm not. That's what sets you aside from everybody else.
It's that star quality.
I tell you, Davido does let you into his life, the good parts of his life, and he does it well.
We talk about Davido.
He actually does it well.
Have you noticed we talk about Davido the most on this podcast?
And he has gone from Playboy to Ruthless to fucking girl to Chioma is my angel, Chioma is my world now.
Yes, he's had a story.
Yeah,
he's had a narrative.
He's done it. I'm not a fan of some of his antics, but he's definitely made me or anybody else that follows him.
That's actually harder than music. That part is because it can sustain you.
Because Wiz hasn't dropped his album now. I feel like he's worried I feel like he's trying to perfect the album because it keeps pushing it back, keeps giving teasers, but in this time, you don't really know what's going on with him. You don't know where he is right now. I can tell you if the video is on my street right now because he would post something that would let you know where he is. You don't know where Wiz is. You don't know what he's doing. There's nothing really, which I feel like he has the talent, but I agree he doesn't have that. For you to get away with that, you have to be like a Beyonce, where you can just keep quiet.
Yeah, and Wizkid is not quite Beyonce.
Yeah.
But Wizkid does have star power. Wizkid is one of its kind in the sense that he's first to everything Wizkid has done. He's first to do it, right?
Yeah.
And it's actually not so hard for Wizkid, but a Davido to actually blow under the shadow of a Wizkid.
Yeah.
Because Wizkid's star power is so incredible. Like Wizkid, he dominated music Wizkid did so much. But what Wizkid forgot to do is that he forgot to work on himself. His brand. People loved his music. People loved Wizkid. Like people loved him. But now that there's no music, what's sustaining Wizkid?
I think he'll get it eventually. I think so too. I think he's getting it now. He's starting to.
No, I mean it's not the end for anybody. No one's saying it's the end for him. It's just like he just needs to sit up. Yeah. And he just needs to focus on build his brand as well because what are you doing? What are you influencing? What are you able to influence? Yeah.
Papa,
who are you collaborating?
So Papa, I was gonna say I can tell you're really passionate about this stuff, and which makes me wonder why you're not still in Nigeria. I don't. It sounds like you have a lot to offer, but it also sounds like you might have been a little jaded from your experience.
I'm more than little jaded. I'm so jaded. I don't know. It's like I don't know how to explain this in the lamest term. It's like
it's like a frustrating industry.
It's like going to school and there's no teacher, and they just it's like imagine just going to school every day and there's nobody to teach you. You just enter the class and sit down every day. You're not going to go back after 1 month. You know what I mean? That's exactly what it sounds like. Almost like the more
comes back to that structure. Yeah,
the more things change, the more things remain the same. There's they don't get it. Everybody's just for now. There's no like, what's the plan? Like, what's the plan? Like, what? Who am I as an artist? Who's my audience? Who are my core fans? What do they like? What do they like about me? Who am I, and how can I keep servicing them? What is my sound? Not that many. So when you start telling all these artists, oh, do this like this, do this like that, do this like this, they don't get it. Everybody just wants to blow overnight. Everybody wants overnight success. So it's I don't know. It's just something that you have to love from afar. And that's something that I've learned.
But yeah,
trust me, bro. There's hardly anybody in Nigeria that I can't call or doesn't know me or know me firsthand. Do you understand? And I would say this. Like, one thing I know that I have is my integrity. Like, and I hold it dearly, so that I don't become a source of mockery or an idiot. You just have to know when to leave.
Fair enough.
You just have to know when to leave. Like, when things get better, maybe in a different capacity I might. And to be honest, I'd rather just come and consult and tell people, okay, this is how I think you should do it. Go about it. Because when I see certain artists, I can kind of, see this is where this person will fit. This is what I think this person should do or how they should be. Yeah. Things like that are what come natural to me. And there are a few people like Tiwa Savage, for one, is actually one person who actually listens.
Okay.
So it's very easy to work with her. I still consult with her, but not in a professional form. We are friends. We have a relationship, so I can say, "Oh, hey, do it like this, do it like this, do it like that," and she would, and the outcome is always very positive. But yeah, that's I'm done for now.
All right. Thanks for sharing your perspective with us. So I know you have to go. You have to run very soon. I'm not chasing you away. Please let them know that you actually have had something to do.
I have to take my son to practice.
Okay, all right. So, thanks for coming on, man. We would like to have you on more often, and if you're ever in town, we definitely would like to sit down and chat.
No problem. We
appreciate you calling in, and we'll catch up with you some other time.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
All right. Take care.
All right. Cheers.
What's the middle song? Bima? All right. So, for you guys.
Is Danny still here?
Yeah, she is.
Is she?
I am here.
Oh, she is.
I was listening.
You were?
Thank you.
She wasn't listening, man. She was ordering stuff on her phone.
Yeah, she sure was.
I was listening.
Green Goblin.
I was listening.
Green Lantern.
I'm actually glad that he said the same thing I was saying about the label deals, because I know some people think I'll be saying shit on here. So it was,
it was good to hear some confirmation.
Yeah, it was good to hear. I'm not just talking out of my ass.
He has a little experience. He's quite knowledgeable.
He is. And that's just exactly the same thing I was saying about the deals. Is I don't see why. I think for it's better to have a distribution deal than to have an actual deal, because when they're in your, when they have control over you, they want a watered version down song. They want a filtered version of your song, and not all of them do well with that. Burna succeeded because I guess his sound was already, I don't want to say watered down, but it fit into their logic of Afrobeats.
One thing I was thinking about, and I think he said something about, is it Olamide?
Olamide, yeah.
Olamide.
His statement was that who's looking for him, right?
Yes.
Who's looking for him? But my thing is that I think there could still be a market for it, because honestly, there's a lot of songs that you guys have played in here. I couldn't tell there's a difference between this and reggae.
Yeah.
So I think that there still would be an audience for it.
Yeah, there is.
Yes, and that's people have problems with that too, because they said that about Wiz, is that he sounds very dancehall, reggae-ish, and that's not Afrobeats. And that's also what happens to when people get signed, is they have them sound dancehall Afrobeats.
Yeah, they might dilute their sound.
When Wiz first came out, a lot of people thought he was Jamaican until it had to be shown that he's Nigerian. Now, Olamide doesn't even sing in that manner. Olamide sings in our language, Yoruba, which is you wouldn't even pick out a word of what he's saying, because with dancehall, you can still kind of, it's English, with broken English.
Levels of reggae, it's not. I mean, but I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
It's like listening to a guy sing in Finnish. I mean, I won't say Spanish, because Spanish is still a language of there's a culture, there's a Spanish culture in the States. So
we should get into our break song.
I was going to use a different song before, but man,
Wale, can you introduce?
I just feel like, just speaking about Rema, this is one guy who
talent, man. Remember when I said it was the next kid? You remember?
I wish I just
drawing blanks now.
No, I just wish I don't know, man. I wish he was signed. I wish he was independent.
But
I wish Rema was independent. No, and this is no knock on his label. I believe Maven is probably one of the most structured label, closest we have to a structured label in Nigeria. But I wish he was independent. I feel like independent and just had people around him, like the Papa Omisore we just spoke to, people who can tell him he will grow. But anyways, Rema, this song is called Bima. Featuring nobody.
Rvssian?
There's a Russian girl. No, the name of the person that's the girl that's singing out. My bad.
Beamer, Bad Boys in bracket.
Fun fact: Rema is signed not only to Don Jazzy but to his brother, the Prince.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's signed to two of them.
The Prince was one that probably found
the Prince found him, so he signed. The Prince is signed as Jonesin, Wald, and then Rema is signed to Don Jazzy as Maven. So he's signed to both.
Well, this is Beamer, also known as Bad Boys by Rema, featuring Rvssian.
Yeah, so that was Rema, Bima,
That was a good song.
That's the guy, he was on the, man, Yeti. When we did the list of songs Obama put out, his summer playlist, she's like, oh, there's no Nigerian on there. And he was there, man. Rema was there. That's why we need a fact checker, man. But he was there. And then I had people sending me messages like, what do you mean? Rema was on the list. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, I took her word for it. I didn't say the list. But he was there, number 49, I think.
And the Green Lantern didn't catch that either.
The Green Lantern wasn't here.
It doesn't matter. She still didn't catch it. She still didn't catch it. She should have caught it.
I feel, and the only reason why I said, and this is like no disrespect to his label, why I said I wish he was independent is because he signed to two people, and one is an artist still, And the other is, he's not an artist anymore. He's a record. He used to be a producer. I don't think he produces anymore now. But I did, like I said, maybe he does have a structure. They got a new building. They have a structure. They have everything. Yeah. But I still feel the Nigerian music industry. I don't know, man. I really just wish, because you notice the people who've done it. Wiz, Davido, Burna, they're not signed to nobody in Nigeria.
Well, we need to move on from Afrobeat. I'm trying to move into hip hop now.
Oh, my bad.
So, Pop Smoke.
R.I.P. man.
Rest in peace. Did you hear Pop? Did you know about Pop Smoke?
I know that he passed away. I read about it on TMZ. I think it was it a targeted hit or was it a drive-by or something after a party?
No, went to his house.
Was that his house? Where he was at. Or the house he was renting or something like that?
Yeah.
I actually had never listened to his music before. I don't believe.
You haven't heard that one song?
What song?
Welcome to the Party.
Baby, welcome to the party.
No.
Should I play a clip?
And if that was a version of it, I don't know.
It's drill music.
Drill?
Yeah.
I'll play a clip of it.
The only reason I like this is because drill is close to grime, and I like grime.
You haven't heard this?
I can see Dave hopping on this track, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's that sound, man. Like,
that's the thing I liked about Pop Smoke was he made that sound more popular.
He did
to audience that hadn't heard of it before. I fuck with grime, man. Drill sounds a little similar. I guess it's maybe started off the same way. It's off. Yep. It's like a branch of one.
Yep. So he was emerging as like
the next big and he was making rapper. That sound popular.
He was growing. They started interviewing him. I mean, this was supposed to be the next quote unquote 50 Cent, so to speak. Because he was like in the streets. He had been arrested a few times. He'd had that checkered past.
And he was just what 20
years old.
Right.
And this
guy was a Muslim too.
He was.
Yeah.
He travels to Cali.
I was just interested.
He travels to Cali. They rent a mansion, I guess.
They rented a mansion.
They had a party, and it was the next day or something.
In the morning. It was the morning. It was
like
the morning 4 a.m. or something.
Where they were like, first of all, right, during the party, they had mistakenly given out their address, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is all theories, I still feel like,
theory.
I'm sure whoever wanted
they might have posted like the front of the house.
That's what people were saying. They said his friend had a picture of where he forgot to blur out the house number.
The house number.
And obviously they had in the capture, in the tag, how you can tag your location. They already have like the area in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, he had received a gift from, I forget this fashion designer. And in his own snap, the address had shown on the gift.
Yeah,
but like, I still feel like that's just all conspiracy theories.
But then the day of, right, he had taken a picture in front of the house in this truck, and he was holding bands of money.
Yes, his friend was actually the one holding the money.
Yeah, well, sorry, his friend was holding bands of money. Let me see if we can find the picture.
Yeah, they were both in the truck, and but I don't think it was a robbery.
Because that was gonna be my question. I was like, was this a robbery?
You know what? In all fairness, I think maybe
in the morning, right?
Because that's how this guy died to XXX. They were looking for him, and he started posting money, and he was somewhere in Miami.
I feel like XX was a hit, though.
I think so. I think this was I think it was just jealousy. I don't think it has to do with
four guys showed up.
When I read it, it sounded like a hit to me.
Yeah, 4 guys showed up. Yeah,
4 guys showed up in the morning, and they said that it was almost like planned.
Yeah.
They went in from all directions. It was almost like a movie, and he was the only one that wound up dead.
Yeah.
So this was definitely targeted.
And have they said what was missing? I don't think
they
as far as hit, maybe it was just somebody saw him flexing on the gram, haters, and then they saw he had money, and they're like, you know what, let's just kill this dude, which is a very stupid way to think in life, but that's, I think, what happened. I don't think it was like a robbery. I don't think it was a hit as in maybe gang related. I just think it was just somebody.
Young kid, man.
Because it says it's a group of masked men.
Yeah, masked men. It seemed planned.
Danny, that was the picture. That was the last picture that he took of himself. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it seemed planned. And, it's like, I understand the whole address thing and my thing is just, once you start making that kind of money and fame, I think you need to start getting security. You need to be a little conscious about who you have in your circle. Yeah. And, I'm not saying cut your friends out, but at least make it harder for, people to get access to you in your private spaces. Because obviously these guys came in there knowing, I'm pretty sure they were confident that nothing was going to happen to them.
Yeah, and also, and that's why I was thinking he's from LA, but I guess it just it happened in LA or somewhere in West Hollywood. But because maybe somebody in his circle was the one who
that's what they're saying. They're saying his friend. They're saying and we don't know. I just feel like lesson to be learned there is once you get into that famous circle and you make money, because they obviously make money. You're buying $100,000 jewelry. Invest $10,000 out of that in security.
Yeah, you should.
Just do that. It's you're no longer that regular person anymore.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But I want to move on to other news. So Meghan the Stallion also, she's having some contract disputes.
Yeah, this.
What is it with artists, man, that they get into these deals?
And then people are going saying she's young, she's 20. Bro, you gotta goddamn what? You gotta start learning early, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, her mother was in the music industry, wasn't she? Her mom was a rapper. She probably could have helped her.
I think I heard about
She probably also had a bad deal too.
Yeah, but I don't think her mom hit it as big as she did. I think she was more of a local artist. But I was just saying that to say that she probably could have used that assistance with that, or maybe she was just trying to get her name out there, so she just signed any deal.
Yeah, that's what happens, and it's all over the world. They give them like any and everything.
Right.
Say, hey, here you go. And they don't look twice. Think about it.
So this is
a kid.
Her. I'm gonna play her.
I was young. I think I was like 20, and
that's not a good excuse, man.
I know everything that was in that contract. So when I got with Roc Nation, I got management, real management. I got real lawyers, and they was like, "Do you know that this is in your contract?" And I was like, "Oh, damn, that's crazy. No, I didn't know." So I'm not mad at 1501. I wasn't upset because I'm thinking in my head, "Oh, well, everybody cool. We all family. It's cool. It's nice.
Family, me.
Let me just ask some niggas to renegotiate my contract." Soon as I said I want to renegotiate my contract, everything went left.
All right, so I don't like that excuse of I was young. I think it's the most stupid excuse anyone could always use, because even if you were 35 and they came to you, if Roc Nation the only reason you know is because Roc Nation was doing the right thing. So it's not about age. What the lesson to be learned here is you got to make sure you have the right people, because she said something. She had lawyers.
But that's what Roc Nation is gonna do.
That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna look at your contract,
punch holes in it, and show you that we can give you better.
We can give you better, exactly. And I mean, look at freaking Maze. He's still fighting Diddy for you get. So it's like age. Don't push that narrative of I was young.
I think age has something to do with it.
I think
it's not the full scope of it. Yeah, because I mean, she was 20 years old. Again, she probably was very excited about just getting. Yeah, she wanted to have a good deal, which she wouldn't have to do as much legwork, right? So she was gonna sign whatever came to her way, and it's a reputable label.
How old is she right now?
She's 25 now.
So do you think if she was where she was 5 years, if that opportunity came to her now, and she was still where she was at 25, do you think she would have read that contract still? She was just signed it.
No, I don't think that. I think she may have been more hesitant at 25 than she was as someone who just came out of high school a couple years ago.
Okay, man. We can say sure. Fair. But I think people.
But I don't know the details.
Lesson to be learned is just even if it's just
the owner of the
get a lawyer.
The owner of the label.
Yeah, that's true. When you're signing major deals
just
like
get
that,
a lawyer.
You need a lawyer.
Get someone to read over it.
A good lawyer
because
who understands those type of contracts.
She said she doesn't even know what is in there.
Well, that's my question.
So she didn't. Did she read it?
What are the details that she has an issue with? That's what I want to know.
I think they said she's making, so they took 60% of her money, and the 40% leftover is what she uses to pay artists and producers and engineers and all that stuff.
It sounds like kind of like standard deals nowadays, because they're investing in you. They're investing in you.
So they're taking the risk, right?
So they get more of the money so that they can recoup it.
And I think they gave her $10,000 when they signed up.
And you know what? The guy, he made a point. So the owner of the label, the owner of 1501.
This is 1501.
Carl Crawford, he actually happened to be a baseball player. So I guess this is probably
Evelyn Lozado's ex-husband,
yes,
right?
The money he's made from that, he started a label, and he responded, and this is him.
Calculated is the person that's on side of you, turning on you, you know what I'm saying? And when that happens, all hell break loose. So for Meghan, she just she just, you know, kind of young, I think, and I don't know if she was thinking right or whatever, but when she went and got her lawyers came and threatened to sue me. You know what I'm saying? Take everything. You know how they do. They try to come threaten to sue you if you don't renegotiate and all that type of stuff. And, you know, basically, you know, come take everything, basically. Because, you know, they come in and normally a person can't defend themselves or fight back or something like that. And then you just end up giving it all. Well, I don't even want to deal with it. So, but in this case, I had to like stand firm because I know what I did in the beginning. I had to show receipts showing all the stuff that, you know, things that we've done in 1501 and provide all that, you know, for the lawyers and all that type of stuff. So, you know, right now we're in a position where we just kind of trying to renegotiate the contract deal to where both sides, you know, both sides are comfortable, and we get back to work, you know.
Look, they screwed her over.
He's blaming Rock Nation for bullying.
Yes, and that's also look. To be honest, it's not like Rock Nation is not going to screw her over in a way, but they will do better. You know, it's a bigger label. But I think she signed a deal that she got screwed over in. Yeah. She didn't have a problem with it. Yes. Until someone else came to shed light on it. Yes. And that's not 1501's problem. That's her problem.
Because I'm like, how do you go to the studio, start recording something, and then you don't know if it's going to be released or not? Like, you're just kind of working in vain.
That's really her. Yes, seems like
and she released an EP though, like the other day.
Yeah, she has a statement here where I don't know if you read it, but it basically says, to be clear, I will stand up for myself and won't allow two men to bully me. It has nothing to do with anyone else, including Jay-Z. Stop deflecting and trying to make this a publicity stuff. I guess that's towards him. Yeah. And then she says here that what you're saying is that 151 owns 50% of her copyright and 100% of her admin rights. It's a 60-40 deal. Yeah. She doesn't get anything, really. Gets 30% of my tour. Like, she just found this out, though.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
Wait. Please, can you repeat those terms? I want to hear that again.
It's 60-40.
Oh, so the 151 owns 50% of my copyright and 100% of my admin rights. Oh, shit. Right now, it's a 60-40 deal. She's responsible for her expenses associated with recording. It also says...
Oh, that's some bullshit.
From the 40%.
Well, it says I can be fined if I'm late to the studio by 151, and also 151 gets 30% of my tour merch and any activity, including books, film, and more.
That's a good deal for 1501. Yeah. They did a good deal for themselves. Yeah. And to be honest,
they took the risk.
They took the risk. And Meghan would not be here without her. And I don't like, and she needs to, the part I think she needs to shut up at is this whole, I'm doing it for myself. You're not doing it for you. Obviously, now you're doing it for yourself because guess what? Somebody else told you. It's different if, and I don't like, I understand the statement she's making, but I don't like this pressure she's trying to put on the label and making it seem like, oh, they're the bad guys here. They did a deal.
If Jay-Z is coming for an artist, he's going to get that.
Yes, and that's what this guy is saying, is that usually you can't fight for yourself.
They got PR but out the ass.
But he's trying to fight for it. Look, at the end of the day, Jay-Z will get you a better deal with Rock Nation. Yeah. Standard. But Meghan needs to stop making it seem like these guys woke up and said, we're going to rob you.
It's business.
It's business.
Yeah, she's been out for at least
and
5
she's been
years.
out for a while. It's business. And you didn't find this out or you didn't have a problem with this until someone else said, let me look at your books.
Yeah, that's
now you're coming out to say, dang, they treated.
I feel bad for her.
I feel bad, but it's business.
But it's kind of on her. You need to know.
Yeah, you need to know what you're signing and push that narrative to other people.
The last topic for hip hop, Nicki Minaj, her boo recently got locked up.
Watch out, she's going to say allegedly now, Nicki, because that's what she always says.
Well, it's not allegedly.
She's always saying allegedly to everything.
This definitely happened.
Apparently, now I can explain this to me. So what happened was they arrested him because he did not register as a sex offender.
Right. So
now you had said that it kind of makes sense because you wouldn't want to register in Nicki Minaj's address in California. Right. Because what that would do is it would alert everybody in her neighborhood.
Right. Of where he lives. Or where she lives.
And they're going to know that there's a sex offender there without really having the context of.
So they should have got him another place.
And outside of that too, like if she lives in a neighborhood where there are children, that's something that's definitely going to be on high alert. You can't really live. I don't know all the details for California, but you can't live in a certain radius of children, and also they put your work information out there as well. So wherever he works, if he works, that has to be noted as well on the website. So. I could see for safety reasons.
So the place he buys his boots cut to, would they notify that? They have to notify that.
I mean, it's for safety. I mean,
it's crazy, man. But it's good. It's good. Maybe they could have just got another apartment and just registered his name under that.
Well, see, I don't know how it works. So that's the one thing that I was curious about. I was like, why can't he put his New York address? Because I thought he was living in New York at one point. But
maybe it's where you spend most of your time, I guess.
Yeah, but for her safety, I mean, that's a lot of extra money wasted on her side just to have a fake address.
Why are you also just marrying a sex offender, man? You could have avoided this whole thing. Man.
I mean, he was also charged with attempted murder or murder. What was it?
Yeah, like, why does Nikki just do this to herself, man?
Because I think
it's someone she trusts, I guess. She's
known
him since she was a kid, right?
Right, and I feel like once you get to a certain space in your career, maybe she just wanted to go back to a place where she felt safe. Yeah. And she felt safe with him.
Sex offender.
Well,
but what's the context? It's not like they said that. Well,
there was the context. You're right, because you could go to a playground and pee by a tree and you'll be tagged as a
but he had sex with a minor.
I'm just okay. So that's why I said what's the context? I think so if you're saying he had sex with a minor,
no, I think the context was.
But that happened to my friend. Though.
What which one happened to your friend?
My friend. Well, he went to pee at an elementary school on a Sunday.
Yeah. You still get counted as a sex offender,
and that's considered. But you also don't have to be on a sex offender list forever. For those who don't know that.
Oh, you can get off?
You can. I actually used to work as a paralegal for a woman in Maryland, and she would help get sex offenders off the register list or reduce their time that's on there. Just a side note. So
interesting.
You don't necessarily have to, depending on the crime, how heinous it is.
Okay, so this was when he was 16 years old. Keep that in mind. Petty was convicted of first-degree attempted rape in 1995. New York State records show Petty, who was 16 years old at the time of the crime, served time in prison for the offense. So it's a attempted rape. I'm not trying to. It's bad. It's bad. But again, when people hear sex offender, the first thing that they think about is
a grown ass man molesting
a minor. And I think that's the context people look at it in whenever you see these headlines.
Right, and also because I've just been really into this lately. Like a lot of black men are often shafted with these charges, and especially if you don't have the money or that you can't find a good lawyer or whatever, you won't be able to fight these charges. If I was him, I would be fighting this to get this off my record. Yeah. Since it's just out there like that, especially if he was 16.
Yeah, exactly.
You can get it taken off.
I mean, he's got to be in his late 30s. Right
now. Maybe he didn't know he could get it taken off.
Yeah, you can definitely get it taken off. You can fight for it.
Yeah. He's gonna need some lawyers though. He's gonna need some.
Well, he's got Nikki's money or whatever he does for a living.
Lawyers. But yeah, moving on from that. Hopefully they all sort out that situation. I was gonna bring up. Has anyone watched Love Is Blind?
No, you're the only person who watched
I watched a little bit.
I thought you were gonna watch it. You said you were gonna watch it.
I was gonna check it out, but
I watched a little bit of it. It was a little hokey.
You think so?
Yeah, it was a little hokey
because I've been seeing this mixed race couple online, and I was wondering.
So that's Lauren.
Who's this guy?
Lauren and I forgot his name.
Now, I mean, this is. Do you think the black community, the women, accept they're more friendly to us mixed race couple when the woman is black?
I think I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going with this. So there were a lot of compliments anytime they post their pictures. Yes. Now I don't know if it's because it was just the feed I was seeing, because you know how sometimes your feed can be reinforcing a certain
but
thing.
You see this whole work husband and wife thing has been going on. Have you seen it on Twitter?
I've been seeing it.
There's that one girl, the one that was popular too. The guy is white too, and. I feel like that maybe
there was like a fascination.
There's a fascination. Yeah, I feel like
he was
I don't care about. Yeah, I don't care about mixed race couples or any race couples. That's your business. But I do know that black couples, mixed race couples where the man is black, especially athletes, they get a lot of stick for it.
They do,
and they try to push this narrative that black men don't like black women.
Let's talk about it.
They push this fake.
Let's talk about it.
They do put this fake. I have because they push this fake narrative.
Let's talk about it. No,
black men don't like black women, and I feel like even if I came out to say I don't like black women, that's my preference. Do I have to say it out loud? Maybe not, but that's my preference. And if I come out and say I don't like white women, it's my preference too. Do I have to say it out loud?
I'm
maybe
still mad. Doja says she doesn't fuck with black
guys. But you see, she can get away with it. It is what it is. It's your preference.
But I think it's propaganda too. When I see a black woman with a white man, I just feel like that's something that they try to push and make it seem like you've arrived, you've made it, you're a white man.
Yeah,
I see it on the.
Well, so they don't like it? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, just to answer Corey's question as far as like, do you, or maybe it's yours, but about, you know, do they
accept it?
They
more.
accept it more because it's like, oh, you've crossed over to this barrier, you've reached like some sort of pinnacle of greatness, and I just think it's nonsense.
I do think it's nonsense. So why can't black men get that same treatment? Because when you as a black man go on Twitter and social media and you're very popular, like you're very vocal about your mixed race, they tend to look at you like you're sold out. They tend to look at you like you're disrespecting your black women who raised you and the black culture and everything. But once your black girl gets a white man, it's like, go ahead, sis, get out of that. Go into yourself.
I
why?
think you guys, I want to put all this in context because people are going to be wondering how we started talking about black men. This is in context of Love is Blind.
Yes,
it's a reality show on Netflix. The show is about people meeting in this room where they don't get to see each other. There's a wall blocking them, but they get to have dates with each other, and they do it for like a few days. Like they're all living in this house. The guys don't get to see the girls, and they all date each other, but they talk through this mirror. So it's supposed to it's like an experiment, a social experiment to see whether love is blind.
Right.
And there was this one couple that happened to find love in those rooms. They had really, really good conversations. The girl was a black girl. He was a white guy. The girl. So he is a white guy. Yeah. The girl's never dated a black guy.
Yeah, she says she's never dated
a white guy before. She has the girl's dad is like some Black Panther activist type of guy. So, and she's never even introduced any guys to him. So it's setting you up for this. You know, eventually they're supposed to move out and move into a house together. Because eventually, what happens is if they like each other and if they feel like they're in love with each other in those rooms, the guy has to propose to the girl.
Right.
And they have to get married. And this is, we're talking about within a week.
Which they did.
Which they did. And they kept going along. They had like a vacation. Wait, so did you watch the whole thing?
I didn't watch it. I read some articles about it. I actually read one last night about this couple that we're referring to.
And so this couple is Lauren and I forgot his name. But they happen to be a very happy couple, and they went all the way through the engagement. They met each other's family. He met the dad.
Cameron.
Yeah, Lauren and Cameron. The dad, pretty much checked him like, look, like, why do you want to? And he stood his ground. He stood his ground. He was like, look, I've dated a black girl before. Like, I'll be comfortable around black people. There was this whole thing behind it.
They've been married a year.
Yeah, and they eventually married, and they're still married.
Yep.
But then there's this thing going on online where people are always standing for them.
What's that?
There's this thing online where people are always like standing for them online, and I think that's what Wally's talking about. Wally's thinking,
I have an issue. Why
is there such a fascination?
You know what? Should we take a pause? I mean, you can cut this out. Yeah.
No, I'll take a pause.
Yeah. Watch you mess this up.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah. So what I was saying was,
take a quick break.
Online, break. I see it a lot. I see the acceptance of, like I said, I don't have a problem with mixed race couples. And seeing, I don't watch the show, and obviously the show plays a part in this particular couple. Yeah. But I do see a narrative online, especially Twitter, where black men don't get afforded the same excitement and respect when they're dating white women than when black women are dating white men.
There shouldn't be any kind of respect that is going.
But they give them, exactly. I think they just treat everybody the same, but they give them a preferential. There's more. The women, black women are they're more excited when they see a black woman with a white man.
But I'll say this, because I know in the past, and I've seen this online not a lot, but I'll say there are a few black men that when they do participate in interracial dating and marriage, they will go out there and put this statement out saying, oh, the reason why I don't date black women is because you're angry, you're abusive, you have bad credit, you're uneducated. Business. Right. So then black women, I feel like they have this trigger when they see a black man with a white woman, because they're like, oh, well, he probably married her not because of just pure love, but because he feels like she's superior and I'm not.
Don't you feel insecure? Isn't that you being insecure when you think that?
But it's not your business. Right, but I also feel like it is a really, it's like a really, you don't really, it's not, I think it's a very narrow way of thinking. I think it's a minority of men that probably think that way. Yeah. And there are a lot, and women, we have our things too.
I believe Doja, she said, well, she don't date black men. And I feel like she could have said 1,000 reasons why. And whatever she said, that's her preference.
Doja's biracial, so that's the thing that's
her preference.
Right, but even with that, there you have she's biracial. She grew up probably seeing her, I don't know if her father's white or white mother. Like she grew up with a predominantly probably white side. So that I understand that.
And black women too also have come out and to say the reason they don't date black men is for the same reasons too.
Yeah.
He's
which is not true.
Bad credit.
Always.
He doesn't have a job. Blah blah blah. Look, it's to each his own, man.
To each his own. I don't think there should be any kind of.
I just feel like I don't. Why are you celebrating one side? Celebrate love from both sides. Why are you always like, go ahead, girl, we're with you, sis. Secure that. Like, what the hell? Like. The fuck?
I know what one he's talking about because I see.
You see it a lot, online. And then to justify
I don't really give those people any kind of I try not to give them any.
I'm just like, bro, they're just two people in love. Let them be in love.
Yeah. And if your reasons for loving that person are really just kind of shallow, that's on you.
That's on you.
You gotta live with it. Not me.
So in addition to this couple, Lauren and Cameron, there's another couple that was on the show whose love story didn't turn out as well. It was Carlton and Diamond. And it's funny, one of the guys that sat in the room with Diamond, immediately he heard Diamond. He was like, "Ooh, you're a stripper, huh?" And she was like, "What?" Like she almost flipped out on him.
I mean, that's kind of like a little stripper-ish.
But that's her government name.
Yeah.
It turned out it really is her government name.
That's it was a popular name.
Diamond was this girl that was a black girl, very, very, very bubbly. She was. She seemed like a cool chick. She was looking for love. And there's this other guy called Carlton who's also looking for love, bald-headed with this big beard. And basically...
And they all looking for love?
Yeah. They had a connection through the wall, And he proposed to her, and she said yes. They met each other. They seemed happy.
Interesting.
But Carlton had a secret.
Well, he was married already?
No. Carlton said...
He's on the deal.
He doesn't believe in let me finish now. He said he doesn't believe in that. He believes in loving hearts. That he doesn't love genders. That he loves hearts.
Okay.
Or something I'm probably not getting the right quote, but something along those lines. He loves something that has to do with the fact that he doesn't really worry about the gender. In other words, he was trying to say that he may have been with guys in the past. Mm-hmm. He may have dated guys in the past, but now I guess he's dating women now. And that was a secret that he kept talking about. And he didn't tell her before he proposed to her.
Right.
That was something he didn't do. So what happens is once you propose, they move them into like a vacation place, like this hotel out in the Spain or something, one of those fancy resort places. And they're supposed to, it's like their honeymoon almost. Right? And when they got there, he decided to let her know that, there's something that's bothering me. In fact, before he even told her, he started crying because he was, I guess, scared about it.
Yeah.
And he told her, and the look on her face was like...
I knew.
No, it wasn't like I knew. She looked stunned. And she looked like, she didn't say anything, but then he got really, really sensitive. And he called back and he was like, "I'm sorry, this is why I'm always scared to tell people, blah, blah, blah." And they were like, she was just like, "Look, I'm just trying to digest this thing. Let's just sleep apart tonight." Obviously, that she's probably distancing herself. So, obviously, I think all this was going on in his head. They spent the night apart, and then they came back to meet up again the next day by the pool. And that's where I'm going to play this clip of Diamond and Carlton where they go back and meet up by the pool, and things kind of get heated. Because basically what Diamond says is, "I kind of feel like this is something that it would have been nice to know." And he kind of snapped back like, "I love hearts. Like, well, why is it such a big deal?" And things kind of went out of hand. But let me play it really quickly.
I don't give a fuck about a ring. Fuck a ring. Fuck a ring. This is why I don't deal with bitches like you.
Oh, I'm a bitch now.
And that's when things took a turn.
You gonna call me a bitch in my face?
I don't deal with women like you.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fucker.
Nah, fuck like me.
Fuck you.
Bye.
Look, watch my ass to the next dick, boy.
No, watch your wig, because it keeps sliding. It's been sliding since day one.
Who the fuck do you think I am?
Your wig been
you
sliding since day one.
You ain't married to no average bitch, boy.
Peace out.
Shut the fuck up.
Peace out. I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, this shit kind of went left.
I got one thing I did notice her homophobic remark.
Okay.
What'd she say?
She said something about invite me to your next dick party or something like that.
No, it was a Beyonce lyric.
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
It was a Beyonce lyric.
I feel it
in the Bay High.
Yeah,
I don't care.
It was a Beyonce lyric. It was me and my girl were watching it. She was like, "Wait, why is she quoting Beyonce?" But that was
Corey. I'm disappointed that you know that.
That I know what
the Beyonce lyric.
I said it was my girl that told me. Even if it was me, I don't care. So I guess that brings me to my next question, right? When it comes to relationships, do we owe ourselves full disclosure? Like, is that something? I felt like he should have told her before he proposed to her. But then, if you really believe in just loving hearts and not really caring about people's past, and you really genuinely have that connection with someone, which it appeared she had in that room, should it matter? I'd like to hear your take on this, Danny.
All right. So, in my opinion, because the show it accelerates the relationship, it's something that I believe he should have mentioned. Okay. And he should have been mentioned it in a judgment-free zone type situation. I don't think she should even have gotten that upset. Mm-hmm. When you're telling someone that you love hearts, that's not really necessarily as truthful, because I mean, just tell me what you're into. Just tell me what you're into and what you like.
I love hearts.
Don't tell me that you love hearts, because now I'm scared, because now I don't know who you're dealing with. But I don't know. I feel like she had a right to know before he proposed. It's not a real situation where you have time and you can brace someone for, and you can get them this opportunity to be with you and learn who you are. This is one where you're getting married in a week.
But then, should it matter that he's been with guys? I'm playing devil's advocate here.
No, I don't think it should matter.
Because if it was that it was girls that he was with, and then let's say he was with 100 girls, is that something that he would have had to disclose?
I mean, I would like to know.
If he was reckless with
but I don't think it would matter. I think I would like to know, but I don't think it would matter, because we're partners at this point. So whatever you've done in the past, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, so let me ask you, for instance, let's say if it was a guy that was really promiscuous in his past and had been with a ton of girls, and he didn't tell you, stop it now, Wale. This is why people say that you look disengaged during our discussions.
He's listening. Go ahead.
Would you be more upset if he didn't tell you that he used to mess with guys versus if he just messed with a lot of girls?
I don't think it matters. For me,
so you wouldn't care.
For me, it doesn't matter. Because
so
we're together now.
So what if you guys got married and then you now found out afterwards that, oh yeah, I'd been with a few guys? Would you feel betrayed?
Well, yeah, after we're married, because that's something.
It doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter. But I'm saying there's still things that you should disclose prior to taking the leap of marriage.
Okay.
And I'm not saying I need to know everything about your life and you need to know everything about me, but that's one of those things where it's like, okay, we should have had a conversation about this, because now I know that you're bisexual, right? And I could see for a woman being that, even though I say it doesn't matter, I could see for, well, anyone really, even if it's a man, that you could be insecure, right? Because now you don't know what this person is really looking at and what they're really into. But ultimately, I mean, actually, they're not married yet. So he told her. It was disclosure. Yeah. I just think he should have been a little bit more open than saying, I love hearts, because what does that really mean?
Yeah, I don't know what it means.
Yeah, what does I love hearts, man?
Do you like trans women, men?
What does heart mean in this context?
I think he's
trying to say he
builds an emotional connection. That's what I believe.
And that it doesn't matter what vessel that heart is.
Okay.
This guy, slow.
I get it.
Yeah, so I mean, if you okay, but I want to. But then I guess, do you like boys more than you like girls?
And I think.
Are you really just using me because you want to have a kid, and you just want to be married and you want to have that, image?
I think those are the questions that were in Diamond's head.
Right. So for optics, like, that's something that I need to know. So that's why I feel like he's not being as honest and forthcoming as he should be, because when you're saying that you like hearts, now I'm like, okay, so you're in this for the optics, and I'm not trying to be a part of your optical illusion that you're putting out here for everyone. So I can understand that.
The show is also based in Atlanta. Just to give you some context,
so he's right at home.
Is kind of true to form.
Yeah, he's right at home.
You know, for those that don't know, there's this stereotype out there that
there are a lot of guys in
down low
Atlanta.
guys in Atlanta.
Well, yeah,
it's not a stereotype. There is a lot of DL.
You think so?
That's what the ladies out there say every day.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know. But yeah.
What are you trying to say?
I wouldn't know.
It just got quiet. So I was like, what's
They
happening?
complain now. The girls online, they're always complaining about it.
I don't know if that stereotype.
Well, I've heard that, and that's some of my
I have
gay
heard,
friends.
and the fact that everyone has heard it, it's like.
Yeah, some of my gay friends go to Atlanta specifically for that. They say they have a good time. They say they meet nice straight men.
Really?
Yeah, they do. That's like a term they use anyways, but they say they love meeting nice straight men in Atlanta, and you just never know. You have a lot of variety.
Means? That's what the download means. Is that a slur, by the way?
It's not a slur.
Because I've said it like 10 times already.
I don't think it's a slur.
You never know with people. Don't ever say these people. Someone says, what's these?
So
we never know with people.
So in conclusion, you don't feel like, I feel like you're kind of trying to have it both ways. You don't feel like you owe anyone full disclosure of everything.
I mean,
front.
anything that's like, if you have a disease I don't know about, if you've been married, if you've been in some sort of risky relationship, or you do drugs, like things like that. I feel like that comes up when you're having these conversations with the person that you're dealing with.
So if someone did drugs in their past, you would want to know that.
I would want to know.
Sounds like a personal preference at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like there's like a hard rule for that.
Well, no, I don't think it's a rule, but yeah, that's for me. I want to know, like, if you're into heroin before we got together, that's something I think you would talk about. You don't think so?
I mean, with stuff like heroin, I mean, you'd see the tracks on their hands also, so.
Maybe not.
It could be someone that.
What if you did crack?
Okay.
I just need to know.
Yeah.
I just think I just feel like in normal conversation while you're getting to know somebody, that would come up anyways.
Do you think?
Well, hey, babe. By the way, I'll be shooting in some rocks.
No, but I mean, you're dating somebody, you start to have deeper, more meaningful relationships.
I think that's the point of dating.
Conversations.
That's the point of dating for a long time, because you would see it also when you date them. You would see if they still did drugs.
Some people
well, if people do hide it, but you would see signs. You would get to know some certain things the longer you guys talk and date for.
Do you feel like we owe ourselves stating what our, I guess, our body count, stuff like body count? You don't think that's?
I've gone back and forth on that. I feel like if you're really into the person, it shouldn't matter. Because I have some friends where we've had this conversation of like, well, I've been with like 50 people, but and I feel like that might scare somebody off. Mm-hmm. Some men would be like, no, I don't do that. In the whole block.
But you don't think
but it shouldn't matter.
Body count shouldn't matter.
I don't think. I think we're adults.
I think if you have
we're adults.
Except that body count happened to have a man in it, then you would want to know.
No, the only thing I want to know is, have you slept with my father, my brother, my uncle?
Friends,
like, I need to know if you slept with somebody that I know, and if you have a disease. I don't care about the rest.
And especially someone that you're going to still be seeing and stuff like that.
That's important.
Yeah, I think that's where I draw the line. I think I want to know if it's someone in my circle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, in the circle.
Yeah, I don't care about it.
That's just what you need to know, if it's in the circle.
Interesting.
Because you don't want to be out with y'all together happy, and then that nigga just there looking at y'all like.
But then there's sometimes
you're not
gonna always know.
Well, that girl's there just reminiscing.
You're never gonna know.
I don't want to be with an acquaintance.
But the moment you find out that this person's in the circle, I think
you need full disclosure.
Yeah, by the way,
please do.
You see that guy over there?
I had a situation
or that
like
girl
that.
over there? Yeah.
Like what? How did the situation
this was years ago, but
someone I was dating found out that I was dating somebody else that they weren't friends. They were just associates, and so
you were
it became.
At the same time?
Not the same time, but at a different time.
Okay.
Earlier that year. And so
like a week ago.
And so he did want to know. And at first I kind of skirted around it because it was kind of uncomfortable because I was like, not friends. But I did talk about it. I had to just put it out there. Yeah, and they asked me for a little while, but saw you looking at him.
You were being a player.
No, I wasn't. I was just like, we used to date. It's no big deal.
She like, mind your business, bro.
So I did say it. So I think it is important.
Yeah, I think I would only care about body count if it was like something that was so much. Stop it now, Wale. Let me talk. I don't do that.
Okay, I'm
stop. Right, getting upset.
I'm done.
I'm trying to have a conversation.
I'm done. I'm sorry, bro.
No, I think if it was alarmingly
sorry, I just remembered Corey being threatened in the bathroom.
if it was alarmingly high, like if it turned out that you had been with like 500 niggas.
But it's a preference too, though.
No, but if it's alarmingly high, if it's kind of a number that I have to start worrying about, do I need to get myself checked?
Well, no,
then I think I want to know. I think I definitely want to know. It doesn't have to be as high as 500.
50?
Anything over...
80? I think the numbers is a preference. Some people say 5 is too much.
But I think it depends on the age of the girl too.
I mean, because then you're running it. To me, I think that 500 is not about. For me, it would just be about the who is in that 500. Maybe this is just someone who.
It's being
not even someone I know, but it's like,
high.
Who is this? Was this like your weed man? Was this the pizza delivery guy? Like, is this just anybody that had a penis? Or there was some thought process.
Maybe she was exactly.
Now, if it's just to look at the trend, because it's like, okay, if you have a body count of 80 and in 80 in 3 years or 4 years, that's 20 a year. This men where you don't even talk to nobody, like this men were just men who just met you at a bar.
That's probably the best rate. Man you met, you never see again.
So I would have to ask, what kind of phase were you going through? I would have to know.
I'm not fine with that one.
Wait, maybe 80 guys in 3 years. You said?
Yeah, in 3 years.
80 in 3 years. That's average of 20.
20 a year.
A year.
I would understand if maybe half of them were you were dating. You're just someone who's gullible, or you.
But what difference does it make? Because I have a friend who's with a different girl at least 4 different girls a week, and I always tell him that he's disgusting.
And that too,
They're worrying too.
That's also worrying too.
Because I have to wonder, like, wait, is it that you have such a huge sexual appetite that if I can't meet that demand,
that's the worry is, and the fact that it's like exactly, and that's why I say if the quality, if it's
maybe she's just sampling.
You gotta think about
maybe he's just sampling.
And the thing I'm saying is, if the quality is not that oh, that's true. You're even talking to Mike since. If the quality is like just any and everybody, then it's worrying too, because you don't want to be at work thinking, what is my girl doing right now? Like, oh shit, I just called an Uber for her. Oh Lord, you don't want to think, is she gonna knock the Uber driver? You don't want to know. But there are people who do that.
But even if
was she with other people at the time? You don't know. What if she was?
It doesn't have anything to do with her loyalty or her faithfulness. It just means that she likes to have sex.
I'll talk about a personal experience.
This is our personal experience.
This one, I didn't want to know the body count. I usually don't want to know. I don't care. I don't want to know. But it was just something like it was almost like.
Can I do this real quick?
Yes.
I don't want to know. If you play,
I didn't want to know, because I think I got to a point in my life where I was like, you know what, whatever your past is your past, and I tried to be as open minded as possible. And there was this one person, the same person that threatened me on the toilet too.
Of course, I figured he was. We have to have that girl. This podcast.
I didn't want to know, but she instead of telling me.
Okay.
She gotta defend herself, man.
I was like, she asked me how much. I'm like, it's about this amount, and I don't count after a while. You know what I'm saying? So I don't try to give a number. I never give a number. Mm-hmm. I just give like a range, and I keep it there. So that's what she asked me. She was like, "Well, don't you want to know mine?" And I'm like, "I don't."
She's like,
me.
"Okay, well, you gonna know."
But you gonna know anyway.
No shit. I gotta tell you, it's 55.
And she said it was north of 50.
I just took a wild guess.
She said it was north of. He said it was north of 50. So I'm like, all right, it's,
Corey's heart starts to pump.
No. Actually, look, this is how open-minded I am.
I had a lot of Tinder matches.
Is it anyone?
This
is
how open-minded. And she's a good-looking girl too. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I was like, okay, how about just recently? I just want to, because if we're gonna, this is someone that wasn't older than 20. She was like, maybe, I don't want to put the age out there, but she wasn't older than 25. She was younger than 25. A few years younger than 25, right? So I was like, okay, just as long as recently you haven't been like very, very active, where I need to kind of check myself. I was like, as long as that. So she was like, no. She was like, maybe in the last year, maybe. So she starts
15,
counting.
I guess at 15.
She wants to start counting. I'm like, look, I don't want to know. I just want to have like an idea.
Corey's like, she brought out the list.
Like, have you been? And then she starts counting.
Like there was Kenny, there was
so in like
Chris.
Within a year, right?
Did she have orgies too?
15.
Within that year. So let's say we're in mid-year.
There was 15.
That year alone, there was she had gone through like 6.
Oh, 6, okay.
So I'm like, well,
it's manageable.
Yeah, but no, that's like half.
That's
a year.
like one a month. That's one a month.
Well,
that's
but I'm asking if she was into like group sex.
No, this wasn't group sex. This was different
one a
guys.
month. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, whatever.
It's not bad.
She's 25.
No,
I
wouldn't lie. I would
She's
lie.
young.
It was a lot for me. It was a lot for me. The way I see it is that if I'm not that, then I got to judge you for that. I got it. Okay. So I was judging a little bit. So I was like, okay. I was not like, well, have you been safe with all of them?
Probably not.
And she was like, well, I'm
it's
like,
hard to be safe. If you're in like,
I'm like
the 80s shit. Or 60s, I think it's also hard to be safe too. You know, because a lot of them come random, you know, weed guy,
one night stands,
and you someone came over to chill for a little bit, and then next day, it just happened. Yeah, and that's why I said I would like to know the not about the number, but how.
I won't lie. After I got to a point where I couldn't keep count,
tell me the kind of person
I started being conscious of it myself. I'm like, okay, if I can't keep count, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to know how this happens, just because I don't know. I just don't like a lot of people in my space. Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to figure out how is it that people are able to just link up with, you know, 50, 80s, 25 people in it. Well, no, I mean, even if I meet someone, because I've had Tinder, so like even if I met someone on Tinder, it doesn't mean I'm sleeping with them. Mm-hmm. It doesn't even mean I want them sitting that close to me. So I just want to know, how are you able to build a connection of sleep with somebody?
And the reason, and when you have that's why I said like 80 in 3 years is just a number I'm using. Mm-hmm. It's 4 years. That's 20 a year. You know, I mean, bro, you go to work, you have stuff. So you don't have time to even get to know these people. No. So there's going to be a lot of random,
the ones that you don't
you were at the gym, some guy says hi to you, you're like, what are you doing later today? You know,
you stepped out of your house.
You stepped out of your house.
The nigga at the corner of the
exactly. Road, just, you know, it has to be, because you can't go on 80 dates or 20 dates in a year. You don't have that time to get to know 20 person. Yeah, it has to be a quick cycle, and you're not having sex every day because you got life.
But hey, we're in 2020, right? They said this is the women.
You're allowed to do it. Right? You're allowed to do it. Women and men. But I'm just saying, I would like to know that, is this the person I want to get in a relationship with? That's all.
But what difference would it make, though? So then I still go back to...
If I know that you don't have... It's not about quality, but quantity. If I know that you don't filter out...
Well, she's not... If he or she, they're not in a relationship, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't have anything to do with how they're going to treat you and how they're going to be with you. It has nothing to do with how they treat you.
You would have insecurities.
My biggest thing is loyalty.
You would have insecurities because you know that my girl or your guy or whatever, the person is someone who just runs through whenever the opportunity comes. And there's no way you can keep them away from opportunities moving forward.
Look, but it doesn't mean that they're going to carry you like that.
I'm not saying...
You're right.
Because they may be different when they are in a relationship than when they're single.
But you would then have these insecurities and worries when you're at the bar with her.
I'm not saying...
You see her talking to some guy on the way back from the bathroom.
That's you. That's your own
Yes, exactly. I don't want to put myself through that.
Look, I'm not saying I'm the most perfect person. I've had my own runs too that I'm not proud of. But what I do know is, if you're telling me we're not even mid-year yet, we're only halfway through the year, and it's been 6 niggas already,
six is not
and
that bad.
And not all of them was even
6 is
safe.
Not that bad. That's one.
I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
So the minute she dropped that, I'm like, look, I'm gonna need to go to the hospital tomorrow.
Oh my God.
So that was what started the fight.
We'll go get checked.
So that was what started the fight that eventually led to
his ass, man.
That eventually led to that whole thing.
That makes sense now. Because I wanted to understand why she was threatening you on the toilet. That makes sense.
Do you agree that we need her to call in and defend herself?
No, not at all.
Because I probably would be like, okay.
Does she listen to this podcast?
No. Stop referring to her. Stop.
I'm just wondering, like, you might get threats.
It could be a mythical figure for all we know.
But also,
it could be a mythical figure for all. This could just be entertainment.
Oh my God.
It might be.
But also, she was young too. You can't really put too much past that. You know, people are having a good time.
I was judging. I'm like, nah, I gotta go get tested.
How are you gonna put your purity meter out there? Like, please,
let it. I have a threshold, man. It's like 1 a month. I need to know what was going on. What kind of phase was this? That's you know what I'm saying, for me.
I don't know. I find it exciting because I figure most women just have like one person.
like
through their off
season, right?
Yeah. Not 80, not 6, not 10.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe 2, I don't know, but 1 for sure.
So do you guys think I deserved it now knowing the genesis?
I could imagine how you relayed that information. Maybe you did.
You thought I was being an asshole?
You probably were. I don't see you being as calm as how you're being now.
I was calm. I tried to explain. I'm like, I think we both should get,
I think we should both go to the
because
hospital.
we had engaged, and we hadn't, you know what I'm saying? So this is just, look, I've had to go for some tests in my life where I
bro, TMI, man, TMI, bro.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry,
honest, right? I was just sharing my story here.
Keep sharing.
But yeah, and that was what caused that. And I said we both could go, and initially she agreed. And so the next day, I didn't think she realized I was going to go so early, so I went the next day, right there and then.
Probably offended.
And that was so when I got back and I said, I already got tested, that's when it became, wait, I thought we were supposed to go together. I'm like, I thought we're just gonna, I didn't know we were gonna do it together. And that was when the start fighted. And I said that was when the fight started, and it kind of progressed, and then it ended up with me being on the toilet seat with someone shouting in my face, threatening me and punching their fingers. Yeah, I was really traumatized, people.
It sounds
I still have some PTSD.
You do,
from
you
it.
definitely do.
Obviously.
And I think you guys should treat me with, some tenderness
shut the fuck up, man.
surrounding this matter. 'Cause I was a victim.
Bring your heroes and villains.
I was a victim.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, thank
too.
you. So we got a heroes and villains.
This has been a
people.
long ass episode, man.
We got a heroes and villains.
It's one.
Before I get into my heroes and villains, do you guys have anything to add?
To what? To body count?
Just to add to everything, the discussion we had
to each
today.
their own, man.
What do you guys think about Papa?
I think he gave a lot of insight. That I've probably been giving also myself. But he validated a lot of things that
for sure.
I've heard.
For sure.
I've seen around. I've observed. I do really want, for anyone wondering why I know so much about the Nigerian music industries, I have a passion for it and I want to do something in it.
We love
but
it,
he also validated my one worry. It's a very unstructured and frustrating industry that you can probably go mad in, and you can tell from his passion. He has a passion, but he's frustrated about it.
Yeah.
So hopefully one day the industry just get better. Hopefully there's structure.
Yep.
Side note: MI actually quit Chocolate City.
He did.
He did
Recently.
Like last week or something like that.
Interesting.
Who is that?
He was a rapper,
He's the rapper.
and he used to be
So that's who he thinks is the biggest rapper in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I think he's Olamide.
And he was handed over. He used to be signed to a record label called Chocolate City. They were the best. Audu used to run it, and then when Audu left, he handed it over to MI as the president, and MI made Ice Prince his vice president, and MI dropped the ball. The label became non-existent, if I'm being honest. And I think after 13 years of being under them, he finally left the label. So it's interesting to see how his career goes on and how the label also just does their thing.
It will be.
But yeah, that happened.
Yeah, I thought Papa was very, very interesting. He's really passionate. You could tell he's tired. The guy said, "Look,
you can tell he's frustrated.
I just can't."
Yeah, you could hear the kids in the background. He's very busy.
He's a dad
he's a dad now, so he's doing.
Dad.
But I would say he was really knowledgeable. It was nice listening to him.
I checked out his Instagram, Twitter when he told me about it. I saw Wizkid follows him, I was like, okay.
Yeah, man. Apparently, he's known in these streets. Yeah. He's known in these streets. So, but yeah, man, that's what I try to do, man. I try to bring insiders to shed some light. So let's get into our heroes and villains. Today's heroes and villains, and this is your first heroes and villains, right?
Yes, it is.
Green Goblin?
Yes, it is.
All right. Today's heroes and villains is about this individual. His name is Afonja of the Ilorin Emirate. For those that don't know, the Ilorin Emirate that's Kwara State in Nigeria. It's towards the southwest, right?
It's a mixture of Yoruba and Hausa.
And it's towards the southwest, but it's closer to the north. And it's like on the borders of Yoruba land, where Wale and I are from.
And Yetune also.
Yeah. Yetune too. Just to give you some context, do you know about the three main tribes in Nigeria?
No, I don't think so.
We have Yoruba, we have Igbo.
Oh, okay.
And we have the Hausas. The Hausas are in the north,
Yoruba is southeast.
Yoruba is southwest, and the Igbos are the east and the south.
Oh, I have heard of it then. I didn't realize
those
that.
are the three biggest tribes, but there are tons of other tribes. There's almost over 300 in Nigeria.
Yes.
So we're very, very diverse, and a lot of them have their own unique language. Let's give you some context. But there was this one part of Yoruba land back then. This was before the colonizers came, right? And it was called Ilorin, and it was run by us. It was run by the Yorubas, and it was like the outskirts. So what happened was that we had like a military outpost there. We had like our biggest general, and he was stationed there. And you know how a general can be stationed somewhere and kind of runs the place? That's what happened, and that's how Ilorin was made. Ilorin was like I'm trying to give like an analogy that you would understand. You know how the way the U.S. has military bases in places like Hawaii, where it's like our outskirts.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is. We had that there, and it's like we know the Hawaii belongs to the U.S.
Right.
That's kind of how this was. It was ours.
Okay.
And there was this guy called Afonja. This name is used these days as like a derogatory term towards Yorubas. Like, so when Igbos call us, see this Afonja man, it's like a slur.
What does it mean?
It comes from this guy.
Okay.
That he was, like I said, he was the military guy that protected the Yoruba region.
Okay.
Yeah, and he reported to the Alaafin at the time. That was how it was done. The Alaafin is like that's like our White House almost, and back then. And so he reported to that person. So I'm going to go over his story. So for context, Afonja is a name that is used derisively to call Yoruba people or people in general traitors. It's like a really, really serious slur. And you hear it a lot in Nigerian forums. So where did this word come from? Afonja is a name and was an actual person, a historical figure that plays a very important role in Yoruba history. The city of Ilorin is said to have been founded by Afonja. Remember, like I said, he was the military guy there. He was the Are of Ono Kankafo Generalissimo. What that means is he's the top military head of that region, of the Oyo Kingdom. And Ilorin was founded as a military outpost. The story is that when the then Alaafin of Oyo died, Afonja competed for the position. So the king died, and I guess they, different people would, the way we have the presidential elections, people would put themselves up for the next ruler. He put himself up and he lost. Now, the new Alaafin, Aole, seeing Afonja as a threat, ordered him on a series of military expeditions, which he considered to be suicidal. This led to conflict between the two and put both of them on an eventual war path. Afonja, with the help of an Hausa settler, keep in mind, this guy went to the north to get help from the north. And the name of the Hausa settler was Alimi, who was known for his strength in mystic and military powers.
General Alimi.
Yes.
I heard that name before.
Yeah. He recruited an army of poor and lower class Hausas and turned them into mercenary army. So he pretty much got an army from the north, from people that weren't from our land, and turned it on the south. They actually headed over there. The story goes that Afonja took the army to Oyo Ile. That's like the capital at the time.
Okay.
Where the Alaafin is what we consider as king.
King of the Oyo Kingdom.
Yeah.
Was seated. Still an Alaafin today.
Yeah. Was seated and sent an empty calabash to the palace. This is where it gets really, really creepy.
You know what a calabash
is? Dark magic.
It's a bowl. It's a ceramic bowl.
Yeah. So when we fought wars back then,
actually, I don't know if it's ceramic, but it's a bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be wooden.
When we fought wars back then, it came with dark magic. Like it wasn't. You couldn't just
voodoo,
go into
juju.
war. We had like voodoo.
Okay.
And we were with the shit, and some of this shit was stuff that worked, and some people still ascribe to till today. They still do these black magic stuff.
Okay.
So according to Yoruba tradition, so basically he took where the Alaafin was seated and sent an empty calabash to the palace. According to Yoruba tradition, when this is done, the Alaafin is supposed to commit suicide, which he did. Again, we don't understand how this happens, but for some reason, this calabash makes whoever comes in contact with it go crazy and commit suicide. But before he committed suicide, he performed a ritual and cursed the people of Yoruba land, saying that their sons and daughters will be slaves and sold to different parts of the world.
Which happened.
This story is wild. Ilorin then became independent of the Oyo kingdom. So he pretty much broke off his Ilorin empire and he became independent. After the death of the Alafi, Afonja enlisted the Fulani who had helped him win into his army and delisted the Yoruba soldiers because he was afraid of their loyalty to the Oyo kingdom and an eventual revolt. So he pretty much purged his army of his own people and brought these people in. Somewhere along the line, Alimi ends up dying and his son Abdul Salam starts plotting to be the leader of Ilorin. He plots with the army to turn on Afonja, and they end up executing a coup d'etat, shooting him to death by arrow. According to Samuel Johnson, who is a historian, he fell indeed like a hero. So covered was he with darts that his body was supported in an erect position upon the shafts of spears and arrows showered upon him. So much dread had his personality inspired that these treacherous Jahamas, whom he had so often led to victory, could not believe he was really dead. They continued to shower darts upon him long after he had ceased fighting. They were afraid to approach his body, as if he would suddenly spring up and shake himself for the conflict afresh. The act of partnering with a foreign tribe to fight and defeat your own king and tribe is seen by many as the ultimate act of betrayal. Abdul Salam became the first monarch. Of course, obviously, they took over. He became the first monarch of Ilorin and immediately pledged his loyalty to the Sokoto Caliphate. Till today, that region still pledges loyalty to the north. The Sokoto Caliphate now is, I guess, the north at large, and right now it's being headed by the Emir, right? The Emir of Kano. Emir of Kano.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
So, and that was how he became the monarch until today. The people that are running Ilorin, they're all from the north. They all have northern ties. This is the reason why today Ilorin, which is a majority Yoruba town, has a very strong Hausa Fulani influence. The history has led to competition between the descendants of Afonja and Alimi over the throne in Ilorin. But it gets even crazier. This was actually what created the path. Now, keep in mind, prior to when, the slave masters got to our shores, there wasn't a slave route that went through the south. It came from the top. And basically, people, they had to travel through the Sahara Desert. That was the slave path. But it was when Afonja defeated that outpost and sold his own people out. That was when they became a slave route that went to the south, to the coasts towards the south. It's hard to explain. I need to show you the map. But that was actually when the slave routes opened, because at that point, he was pledging fealty to the north, and the north they were already trading slaves at that point. So they were like, oh, fuck it. Yeah, this is, and a lot of the people that ended up on the shores of the United States, that was how it came about. It was because you had slave traders that came from the north and opened up that route and eventually started trading slaves. So it's a one of those really, really, really pivotal moments in our history that we don't really hear about. And before I get off, this segment of Heroes and Villains was brought to you by TQ Trivia. TQ Trivia, for those that don't know, you can follow them on Twitter. They are at PlayTQ Trivia, TRIVIA. TQ is Africa's daily trivia game with real cash prizes. At 9 p.m. every day, compete by answering questions about recent Niger gist and African history and culture. So this is a lot of what they do. They do a lot of research. They get a lot of historical facts and pieces about African culture. And you can go on their website and you can kind of play a quiz. And if you answer the questions right, you can actually win some money. They're actually coming out with a new. I'm not sure. I think it's a new website. I don't want to misspeak. Sorry, they are relaunching next week. So I do want to mention that they are launching next week. They're on Twitter at PlayTQ Trivia. at Play TQ Trivia. They are on Instagram also. And on Instagram, they are Play TQ Trivia also. The Millennial Entertainment News and Lifestyle app with daily trivia games in which you can win real cash prizes. So thank you very much for getting us, for bringing us that segment, like trivia.
That was pretty good.
Did you guys? What do you think about? Would you consider him hero or villain, Afonja?
I mean, I think that he sounds like a hero to me. Not necessarily. I could see why he would be a villain, but he's a hero for those that he was protecting and leading.
Perhaps. I just thought it was interesting that his name ended up being like a slur that's being used till today against my people.
Yeah.
That was interesting. But that's all I have for today. Wally, do you have anything to add?
Nope.
Nothing.
You know what I learn about the history.
You know what I forgot to do today? I forgot to put up our damn sign.
I know.
Fuck it.
I thought you were putting it up.
For those that don't know, please follow us. We
That's
are on Instagram, smiling_software, on Twitter at smilingpod, at SMILINGPOD, and we're also on YouTube. Please follow, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, the little bell there. You actually have to hit it. Click on that so that you can get our latest clips. And I think that's all I have for today. Wale, what song are you going to be leading us out with? If you don't have a song, I got one.
That's it. I forgot the name.
All right, so I'm gonna play this song.
Is it?
Is it a new song? Can you introduce it for us then?
Yeah, Two-Face dropped an album.
He's got Burna on it too,
yeah,
right?
Burna on it too.
What's the name of the album?
That's there. I can't remember the name.
What I have here is Warriors,
yeah. And the song is called Okbo. It's featuring which means it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's featuring Wizkid.
All right. Well, thanks for staying with us today. We kind of went on a marathon there, but it's because we missed you guys.
Yeah, it's a long episode.
Yeah.
So this is happy I said to come in earlier.
Yeah, it makes sense we came in early today.
We've been here 6 o'clock.